What did John F. Kennedy, the ex-president of the United States who was unfortunately assassinated in his car, know about UFOs and aliens? That's what we're going to be delving into today because, well, there might be a lot to it, and he might have been the one that could have officially blown the whistle or pulled the trigger on alien disclosure. So this does come from Morning in America. So what did John F. Kennedy know?
Welcome back. The assassination of John F. Kennedy has been the subject of endless debate and analysis. The latest episode of News Nation's Reality Check podcast dives into the dark world of Cold War espionage to find out what JFK may have known about UFOs, covert CIA operations, and if there could be connections to Kennedy's assassination.
Wow. Straight off the bat, intriguing, right? Because obviously, you know, was the Kennedy assassination linked to his knowledge of UFOs and aliens? That's literally the question being asked right here, which is something that, like, most people would look at and think, that is absolutely mental to think. Like, why would you even utter those words in the same sentence? But when you get into this interview, it really makes you wonder.
Do you believe that there may in fact be a connection between JFK's decision to demand openness from the CIA and openness between the CIA and the Soviets on UAPs? Do you believe there may be a connection between that presidential order and the subsequent murder of John F. Kennedy?
Honestly, just to think that because John F. Kennedy literally had a presidential order for basically transparency about what the CIA and what the Federation knew about UAPs, UFOs, alien life, to think that that could have been the consequential reason, or one of the consequential reasons as to why he was murdered. Like, is that not baffling to anyone else, or is that just me?
Absolutely. Yep.
Wow. Bro just said absolutely.
Absolutely. Here with us now is News Nation special correspondent and Reality Check host Ross Coulthart, joining us from Australia. Ross, thanks for joining us. I've been very excited to talk to you.
It's a real pleasure to speak to you, and it's very much UFO week this week. I'm able to talk about Lou Elizondo also at the end of this week, appearing on News Nation. So we're going to have a very busy week with studying the subject of UFOs.
Very exciting. And you know, everyone wants to know more about this phenomenon. Let's start with the Majestic 12 files. What are they, and why are ufologists now zeroing in on them? I should call them ufologists.
Okay, so the Majestic 12 files are a long disputed group of documents that were supposedly leaked from within the defence and intelligence agencies about 30 plus years ago. Their provenance, their authenticity has long been disputed. But what's really interesting, and the chap I was interviewing there, who's an Australian former intelligence officer, a guy called Jeff Cruikshank, he's done some phenomenal work revealing a little-known piece of history from the JFK era. How 63 years ago, JFK was so concerned that UFOs were causing the Soviets to fear that the Americans might be launching an attack, that he ordered the CIA to be more open with the Russians, with the Soviet Union, about what we were doing on their border, because it turned...
That's crazy, because you got to think, like, he literally did that with the best intentions, right? When you think about it, like, you know, he wanted to let the Soviets know that phenomena wasn't actually the US trying to invade, trying to spark an attack on Russia. Like, you know, it was completely nothing to do with them whatsoever before there was a retaliation attack from Russia on, or the Soviets on US. And it's like, just to think that all he wanted was just to keep the peace during a very tense and frictionless time. Yet the CIA may have taken that the wrong way and been like, I'm not telling them anything, and then throwing their toys out the pram like a toddler. Crazy.
Turned out there was a secret CIA program where we were actually spoofing UFOs. We were pretending that there were UFOs by putting up false signals on Russian radar. And needless to say, JFK was very, very concerned about this because it was a huge threat to deconflicting, to stopping the possibility that the Soviets might think that we were attacking. And the interesting thing is there are documents in the Majestic 12 documents which appear to refer to this secret operation. And even though they've been said to be false, it's really interesting because the secret operation was only revealed to exist 2 years ago, and yet these MJ12 documents were found and first discovered to the public attention about 30 years ago.
Wow. So for something that's actually not real, for it to be 28 years later that they actually oh yeah, that was in there, but it's not real. Don't worry about it. Why would you not debunk that straight off the bat as soon as these files come out? Why is it only 2 years ago that the public actually finds out about these specific codename files? And then the CIA are oh no, don't worry about those ones. Shh. Well, look at this one over here, look. Crazy stuff. That is just crazy stuff.
So it really does raise the possibility that what have long been disputed to be fake documents are in fact potentially true, and that they reveal a hidden history about JFK's concern about UFOs.
This is so fascinating. So, Ross, as we're listening to this podcast, as we're learning more, what are the questions we should keep in mind as we listen and watch the story unfold?
Okay, well, I think a lot of people don't realize that it's actually written into treaties. There's a treaty that we've signed with the Russians, which basically assures them that we will consult on UAPs, on UFOs.
What? There is a treaty between the US and Russia that says that they will converse and talk about UFOs and UAPs and their knowledge of it. Do either of them uphold that? I doubt it. The US can't even, keep their facts straight with each other, let alone with international treaties. So, I highly doubt that they're going to be giving President Putin their information on what they know about UFOs and what's really going on at Area 51.
This is such a big issue between the United States and the Soviet Union in its day, and now Russia, that in order to protect those countries from accidentally launching a nuclear strike at each other, they are consulting. They've agreed to consult with each other in a treaty on UFOs.
Unreal.
And so we should be skeptical about documents that appear to suggest some kind of broader conspiracy. But this particular intelligence official, now retired, suggests that we should be taking seriously these documents that suggest that there's been a very hidden history where the president, JFK, was so concerned that we were doing an illegal, essentially things that weren't even authorized by Congress. We were running an operation which was making the Soviets think that we were launching an attack, making them look like UFOs.
Wow.
And JFK only found out about it 63 years ago in Vienna because of a question from Premier Nikita Khrushchev. So it's important now in these very dangerous times that we look at the fact that, here we are, we're so much closer to the potential for nuclear Armageddon than ever before in our history. Heaven forbid. And I think questions need to be asked of our president. What on earth is going on? What are we doing to protect against this potential risk?
Ross, that is incredibly interesting. I can't wait to watch and listen. Ross Coulthart, thank you so much, sir.
Really interesting stuff there. So what do you guys think? Was the JFK assassination linked to his knowledge or, linked to him wanting disclosure on the UFO topic? I mean, there is so many conspiracies about what really led to that assassination. One of them that you never really think of is UFO information, UAP information, or the likes of aliens. So that idea is actually baffling to me. But what do you think? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. While you're down there, be sure to jump to get the hell out of that like button. And until next time, I'll speak to you later. Peace.